Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Citrus Twist kits. And today I want to give you a few ideas using a combination of the add-on kit and the Weekender Life Crafted kit, and also some of the products that have been added to the shop. So this month's kits are gorgeous. The palette is bright, it's vibrant, and the add-on kit is probably one of my favorites that Trina has put together. And it features the Stamp Market, their new collection is modern. A lot of bright colors, a lot of very simple patterns, but beautiful collection. So some of the other things that Trina has added to the shop, there's quite a few that she's added from the Stamp Market, is this stamp set. It's called Modern Floral stamp set, and it matches the florals that are in the collection. And what it is a buildable stamp, is a buildable floral stamp. So you're gonna find 3 of the designs from the flowers you see right now in the pattern paper, and it comes in 2 parts. So there's an outline, which is what I'm gonna stamp right now, and it's just the shape of the flower. And for this I'm gonna use actually inks from Pinkfish Studio. I happen to have the entire collection, and they come in families of color from light to dark. So I'm gonna try to stamp the images, or the outline of the flowers with the lightest color, so that I'm able to add the second step or the detail to the flowers in a darker color. So I'm gonna choose colors that actually match the papers that I have: oranges, yellows, pinks, corals, because I want to bring a lot of vibrancy to the layout. And you're gonna see that how simple these flowers are to build. Like I said, lighter color for my outline, and you can leave it as that. Already is a beautiful flower, but I'm actually gonna add the second part. And what the second part is just some details. And the beauty of this flower is it's not a very realistic flower, it's more of a whimsical flower, which is great when you're building a flower, in this case a stamp flower, because it's very forgiving. As long as you match the center and some of the divots on the petals, then it'll be okay. If you were doing a realistic flower, some of them are very tricky because you gotta make sure that the petals align, but this one is gonna be a breeze for you to build flowers. So once I've shown you how that I created my flowers, I'm gonna go ahead and actually use this idea to create my pattern paper, or in this case kind of a soft frame on my layout. And you're gonna see that again I'm gonna start by stamping the outlines of the flowers, and I'm gonna stamp 3 of the biggest flowers. And the way I'm gonna stamp it is in a triangle shape. This is just gonna make sure that I create my visual triangle on the page, and gives me the perfect spot where the picture is gonna sit. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna bring the picture, and that's gonna give me the spot for my next flower. And I'm gonna stamp the bigger flowers coming off the page, kind of off the page. And one of the reasons I'm doing that, first of all, is because the flowers are quite big and this is a small format. If I was to put the entire flower onto the page, it would kind of fill the space really quickly and make it very cramped, even though I'm covering it with the picture. And instead I'm going to choose to kind of bring the the flower off the page, which means that I'm not going to stamp the full image. And one, like I said, is going to just break, some of the color, give me some white space. And the second one, it gives the illusion that I cut a piece of paper from a bigger piece of pattern paper in that case. So you're gonna see that once I stamp my little triangle of flowers, in this case the bigger flowers in a triangle formation, I'm actually gonna go ahead and add the details. And again, if you happen to have a set of inks that follow, like in this case, a family of color, meaning they go from light to dark, then it's really easy to build this flower because it takes the guessing game out of it. But if you don't happen to have that, don't worry, there's ways that you can do it. So my advice would be double stamp the center with the same ink. So if you have only 1 tone of orange, stamp the outline and then double stamp the center with the same orange, so that you deepen the color and you create a soft variation. And you're gonna see how easy this come together. And again, I'm gonna use the centers of the flowers, I'm gonna stamp them in black, just because I'm gonna use the picture that I'm working with is black and white, and the other side of this layout is also gonna be a black and white. So once I have my big flowers, I'm gonna start working on some little ones, and I'm just gonna add 3. Like I said, I don't want to cram the page, and I'm gonna go actually for the smaller flower. And the way I'm gonna add the next flowers, I'm gonna make sure that I mix them. And by that I mean is I'm not gonna put orange next to orange or yellow next to yellow. I'm actually gonna mix the colors so there's a nice blend of the colors on the page. Again, very forgiving flower. The smaller flower, it actually gives you a tip of one of the petals that you can use as a guide to create the flower. Again, very forgiving because they're not so realistic, so it's easy to just, even if you mess up, you won't notice it that much. And again, I'm stamping the centers in black, like I said before, because just to bring some of the black that I have on the picture. Now, when it came to stamping the leaves, there is quite a few leaves that come in the stamp set. I'm gonna say there's around 3 or 4 that are buildable, and what I mean by that is a 2-step. So what you do is you stamp the outline, and then you can bring some of the details like the stamens and the veins in the flowers. Very simple, very whimsical, again, not very defined, so which is gonna make it really easy for you to stamp. I'm choosing to just stamp the outline of each of the leaves. I don't want to add many. I'm gonna use actually 2 color of green for the leaves, and I'm gonna stamp it again in a way that I kind of connect the flowers to each other. And you're gonna see that again, I'm gonna stamp them off the page. I don't mind it. I'll bring the picture just to make sure that I have enough flowers surrounding the picture. Like I said, I'm creating my pattern paper, kind of a soft frame for the picture, so I'm okay with having some of these leaves come off the page and some of them go into the center. I don't mind it. And once I have that, I am actually gonna start building the next part of the layout, and this come together really fast. So this paper here with all the journaling spots, it's actually from the Stamp Market Modern collection, which is in the atom kit. And I actually happen to have a weird memory keepers typewriter, so I'm able to put papers that are 12 by 12. So I just took it to my typewriter and added my lines of journal onto the master journaling card. And then that flower that I created at the beginning to show you how to build the flower, I actually fussy cut it, and I'm gonna use it to decorate this page. All I'm doing right now is stamping some of the leaves, and I'm actually gonna fussy cut them so I'm able to play with them. After that, you're gonna see that I'm gonna layer the journaling card with some pieces of ephemera from the Stamp Market Modern collection. And also I'm bringing that little sentiment, or the little strip, is actually from the ephemera pack from the Life Crafted. I think it says no filters needed. Very simple layering. I'm gonna make sure that I place the picture and the journaling at the same level, and I'm just bringing the one single flower is big enough. I don't need any more than that. To add my stamp, the date, sorry, I'm using the date and number stamps from the release in January, and to add the place, I'm just using the stamp from the Traveler's Notebook that was released this month. After that, you're gonna see that all I do behind the picture is that a piece of vellum. I'm actually gonna frame it with vellum. I just want something really soft. If you see my goddaughter, the story is all about my goddaughter. She had a flu, she had the vaccine at the same time, so she had a very hard time for like a week or 2, and that picture right there you see is at 2 o'clock in the morning, so I just had to document it. So you're gonna see that I'm just showing you how I added the vellum. I actually ripped the bottom just to give me that jagged edge, and then the little capture piece is actually from the ephemera pack from the add-on kit. I'm gonna add my title using the beautiful alpha from the Life Crafted right underneath the bottom of the picture. And just because I added those pops of gold there, I'm gonna bring a piece of washi tape onto the right hand side of the layout. I'm gonna layer a piece right underneath the little sentiment from the Life Crafted. All I'm doing right now, you're gonna see me, is I'm gonna add a few enamel dots just to connect the 2 sides together. And what I mean by that is I'm gonna place the enamel dots so that they create a triangle on the page. You're gonna see that I add a little bit on the top left corner of the layer. I'm gonna add a few on the top right corner of the layer, and a few next to the flower. If you join the points, that forms a triangle, so your eye is gonna kind of bump from cluster to cluster, and that's about it. Very simple. Like I said, the flowers are very easy to build. So now I'm going to show you another idea using the same stamp, and again a combination of the Life Crafted and Iron Kit. Now this time I'm actually want to create a frame using just the leaves, and I'm going to create a frame that is gonna hold the journaling spot. So for that I am actually drawing with a pencil, in this case the size of the rectangle that I want to use, and I think it's around 3 inches by 6 or 2 3/4 by 6 1/4. I can't remember exactly, but I'm gonna make sure that it gets marked so it gives me the perfect spot to add my lines of journal. Now to create the frame for this page, I'm gonna use actually 3 different color inks. I'm gonna use greens. Again, the inks are from Pink Fresh Studio, and you're gonna see that again I'm gonna follow the same idea that that I used for the previous page, and that is to create my triangle like a foundation triangle with the stamps. So again, triangle on my page with the first stamping area, and then I'm gonna switch into a deeper again a deeper color of ink, and then kind of continue the same triangle. This time I'm gonna make sure, even though like I said marking the center gives me the perfect spot where I'm gonna add my lines of journal, and I'm actually gonna layer some paper so you won't be able to see the lines. I'm gonna try at best not to go towards the center of the page. I'm gonna try to just create a frame without going into the center that much. Some of the leaves might go into the center, like the center area, but not on the I'm gonna try my best to create a frame. That's the best way I can put it. Now the advantages of the stamp set is that there's actually one loose leaf on the stamp set, so I'm able to fill those spots around the frame that I know that even if I put the paper you're gonna see white space. I do want to see white space, but I don't want to see lots of it. So I'm going to set that aside to dry for the ink to set, and while that sets, I actually went off camera and used Photoshop to print one of my traveler's notebooks digital papers to fit the size that little frame that I created, and also to create my lines of journal. So all I'm going to do is frame my lines of journal with the yellow paper that's from the Life Crafted kit, and then I'm going to glue them together and glue them right onto the center of the frame. So you're going to see all the greenery, and that little frame, the little yellow frame is just gonna make all the journaling stand out, and that's pretty much all it's gonna take for that page. Now I'm gonna take care of the other side of my layout, and one of the things that I'm gonna use first of all is the B side of a previous layout. So I wanted to bring something that is that had the yellow and green tone, and I found this paper in the Life Crafted kit, has some florals, have a lot of leaves, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. But I don't wanna fill the entire page because I think the left hand side has a lot of visual explosion in this case with all that green. So I'm just gonna cut a 4x6 piece of the paper and kind of layer it on the top right corner of the layout, and that's gonna create like an L shape, which is gonna help me to bring the attention to the picture. I am actually cut some pieces from the Iron Kit. There's one of the papers from the Miss Modern paper that's a full with journaling spots and tags, so I'm going to take advantage of some of them just to create that cluster behind the picture. I'm also going to bring some of the florals, and these are from my favorite story ephemera pack. They're also from Pink Fresh Studio, and they're in the Iron Kit. And then all I'm gonna do just to finish this is there's a little ticket. It's actually from the Life Crafted ephemera, and I'm gonna add a little bit of stamping on it. I'm gonna use, actually I think it's the Weekender stamp set. You're gonna see that all I'm doing right now is just kind of creating the curvature of the string that I added behind the tag, and for that I'm just gonna add some double-sided tape to keep it in place. Now here's when I'm just going to add that little currently tag that you see there. That's also from the Elements pack, the Elements sheet that you can buy from Citrus Twist Kits, or if you're a subscriber you get it for free. And you're gonna see here this where I'm adding my lines, my little journaling subtitle onto the ticket. And this sentence it's actually a big long sentence, but I have a really small space in the ticket to stamp. So here all I did is I want to make sure that when I add ink onto the sentence, I just add ink to the part that it's going to fit into the ticket, and then I clean my stamp after stamping and then add it to the second part. So I'm able to create my little break up that sentence. Not just to create my title here, I'm actually using the same stamp. I'm using the This Is Life Weekender stamp to add the word Good Life. And then I'm gonna bring, I think it's the Traveler's Notebook stamp set from I think it's January, I can't remember right now, that says right here. And then that arrow that you see there, that's from a stamp from I think 2017 from Citrus Swiss Kids, a 2x3. And that's about it. I love how this turned out. Very easy. Like I said, this stamp is one that you want to add to your stash. It's great to work with, very forgiving, beautiful details. It's gonna bring a lot, you can do a lot with it because you can customize your paper. And I hope you try it. As always, don't forget to check out the kits. I know they are very popular right now because of the colors, so they're selling out really fast. Shipping has, I think, it's started and it's about to finish, so make sure you check everything out. As always, there's a lot of stuff being added to the shop, so make sure you check that out too. One of them is the stamp set that I use for this layout. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. I would love to help you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's lots of content always being added. Don't forget to check the blog. Also, the girls are doing beautiful work. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care, guys.